Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Now, I have read over 100 books so far this year, which is crazy. By the way, I want to preface this by saying if you have only read like 5 books or you've only read 1 book so far, it doesn't matter. As long as you're enjoying reading, like I'm enjoying reading, that's literally all that matters. But yes, I have read over 100 books so far this year. So I thought I would do my top 5 books of the year. It was so hard to pick them. Some of them I knew immediately were going on here, and others it was just so hard to pick because I read so many fantastic books this year. But this is the list. So the first one is probably my favorite romance book that I have ever read. Probably my favorite book ever that I've read is Unbound by Peyton Corinne. It is book 3 in the Undone series. Now this follows Bennett Reiner and Paloma Blake, and this is a second chance hockey romance. So fantastic. You also have childhood trauma representation from Paloma Blake and OCD and autism representation in Bennett. And the way Peyton wrote Bennett as an autistic boy, like the way that she wrote him, it didn't feel like she leaned into any of the stereotypes, and it didn't feel like you read him and you're like, oh my goodness, he's immediately autistic. Like, I think if she didn't specify it in the like author's note or like trigger warning page, like you literally wouldn't know. You would just think like, oh, he's just like a boy who maybe struggles to talk to a girl. Like, this is literally all you would think. But this book is just so beautiful and so fantastic. And the way that over the 2 years that they were apart, that Bennett never stopped loving Paloma, and the way that he literally like spoke to her through poetry, and then he started writing his own poetry, and he was like, every poetry I write is basically about you. Just so beautiful. It's literally my favorite book I've ever read. I have a tattoo actually dedicated to it. I should probably do a video on this tattoo. It's my most recent one and my most massive tattoo. But yeah, I literally have a tattoo dedicated to this book. That is how fantastic it is. I could not stop talking about it, and I cannot recommend it more. Like, if you can only ever read 1 book, I will always recommend it be this one. The second one is Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. Now, this is the 4th and final book in her cowboy romance series, which is the Rebel Blue Rant series. Now, this is also a second chance romance, and you have a single mother. Now, they spent 14 years between when they first like fell in love and broke up, and then when they kind of like started talking again and getting back together. And the way that Dusty has never stopped loving Camille, and they would write letters to each other when they were in high school and when they first fell in love, and then he kept doing that tradition of writing like little notes even when they broke up, but he stopped. He wouldn't send them to her. And then at one point he wrote a note. I don't know if I still have the page bookmarked in here. I don't think I do. I think I lost the bookmark. Anyway, he basically says that he hopes that she found her home, but he hasn't found his. And when I read that, I interpreted it as that he hopes that she like fell in love and like has like somebody, like a husband or boyfriend that she's madly in love with, and that has become her home, but that he has not found his home because like she is his home, and he still loves her. And this is what really made me realize that I love second chance romance, because this was like the first second chance romance book I read that I thought was done so fantastically. Literally 2 perfect second chance romance that I highly recommend you read. So the third book on my list of top 5 is In Her Own League by Liz Tom-Forty. This was also the second 6-star book the second book of the year that I rated 6 stars. Now, this is a spinoff of the Windy City series. So if you read the Windy City series, I think you will thoroughly enjoy this one. No, I actually read this one first, then I read the Windy City series. I know it's kind of weird. I think because I saw that it was a standalone, and also because it had a plus-size FMC, and I had never really read a book with a plus-size FMC, so I really wanted to read one. And Liz Tom-Forty delivered really well with this one. Also, Emmett Montgomery. This is a like kind of like forbidden romance because it's a workplace romance, age gap romance. So it's not really forbidden romance. I made that mistake. I can't say it was forbidden because it's like workplace and they really shouldn't like be dating, because like she's his boss technically because she owns the Windy City Warriors, and he is the field manager. And it's also an age gap romance. I don't know how many years. I want to say it's like, I think it's something like 12 years. Also, Emmett, I lift heavy for a reason. Montgomery. So they're both working out. The scene is because they're both working out in the gym at the field, Windy City Warriors gym. and he's like looking at her and he's talking about like her body and stuff in like a really positive way, and he's kind of like saying like seeing her work out is encouraging him to finish his set because he lifts heavy for a reason. So yeah, that's where he gets the nickname Emmett. I lift heavy for a reason, Montgomery. So fantastic. Literally, so many people have talked about it. So yeah, I really recommend you read it. The next one is Bourbon and Proof by Victoria Wilder. Now, this is the third and final book in the Bourbon Boys series. Now, this one I would call it cowboy adjacent. I know some people call it cowboy just because it's like takes place in the South, but they don't run a ranch, they run a distillery, so I don't know if you want to call it cowboy. I just kind of say it's cowboy adjacent. It's really up to you. But I really enjoyed this book so much. Ace Fox, he's grumpy, he's also dirty daddy, Ace Fox. Also, this is his brother's best friend, and he has always had a thing for her. And what is interesting actually about all of the books in the series is there's like crime weaved into the books. And so he actually helped her after he saw her somewhere and she had like run away from somebody, and he went somewhere. He actually like killed the guy, and then he actually walked in to her father's house. And that was kind of a mistake because he was like trying to tell her father like you shouldn't proposition her for marriage, like you shouldn't pimp her out for marriage to guys for like business deals that you want to do. And then her dad was like, I'll stop that as long as you never like go after her because I know how much you want her. So he makes a deal, and then 10 years later you have a marriage of convenience that she suggests, he rejects, and then eventually he goes to her and he's like, hey, why don't we actually do the marriage of convenience? And then they fall in love with each other, and it's just like so fantastic. I also like, there are so many tropes that I could be a sucker for, and marriage of convenience can be one of them because you get to see a lot of like the mundane domestic things that they start to do and the small ways they start to fall in love with each other. So yeah, great book. And the final book in my top 5 that I've read so far is also by Lila Sage. This is Soul Searching, and this is the first book in the Sweetwater Peak duology. This is also a paranormal romance book, and the reason it's on here is because it was the first book that got me to read a lot quicker, which is why I've been able to read like 22 books a month so far. And this book is just literally it was so good. It was such a refreshing read from like what I was normally reading, which I was reading a lot of cowboy romance or some small town Elsie Silver romance or some hockey romance. That's basically what I was reading. It was like a couple other maybe contemporary romances sprinkled in, but I wasn't really reading much else other than hockey romance and cowboy romance. So this was quite refreshing. It was a very refreshing read, and I just really liked it so much. I am not somebody who would gravitate towards anything paranormal because IRL, I don't believe in ghosts, but I really enjoyed this book. And also the scene when he realizes that, because she's a photographer, when he realizes that her photos are what brought him to Sweetwater Peak, the small town that they both now live in. And he's like, oh my goodness, your photos are what brought me here, and the way that he like tells her he loves her. I cannot wait for the second book in the series, which is also going to be the final book. I believe it's coming out, like, if I'm not mistaken, in September. I have it pre-ordered, so I'm just so excited for it. But yep, so I'm just going to restack them so you can see them because they're all in order of like favorite to least favorite, even though they're all like fantastic books because again they are in my top 5. I was gonna do a top 10, but I really wanted to keep the video shorter. Also, I think doing a top 10 would have made it too hard for TikTok. But yes, these are the top 5 books that I have read this year so far. Probably at the end of the year, once I have tallied up all the books I've read, I will do another video. So I might do a top 10 at that point because I'm thinking probably by the end of the year I'll have read 180 books. We shall see. But if that is the case, then I might do more of a top 10. I could still do a top 5, but so some of these might change. But I definitely know the first 2 are probably going to stay. That's for certain. But yeah, that is all for this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below. If you would like to see more videos like this, you can hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another brand new video from me. You can also follow me at RomanceBLVD on Instagram and Threads, and at Romance Boulevard on TikTok. Until the next one, bye!